Morning all. How we doing? So I just got back from the gym. Hot, sweaty and wet. My God, it's raining out there. Went to my spin class this morning. Absolutely fine. Came out. Literally floods everywhere. No idea where all that rain came from, but it wasn't there when I went into a class 45 minutes ago. Just got absolutely drenched on the way home. Like, properly, someone tipped a bucket of water over my head. So, haven't had a chance to do anything this morning. Morning, Ian, Christian, Stevie, Neo, JC, Michael, Danny, James, Gregors, Baggy, Yotko, Day Trader FX. God, there's a lot of people here this morning. Leshy, Martin, Kennelly, Magnus, how we doing? Guten Morgen, Fran Spain. Good morning. Good morning aside from non-stop rain. Yeah, Marty's got rain as well, you see. Look, it's raining. It's really raining. Right. I'm not trading. Well, I'm trading on the small account today. I'm not trading the other account today because I emptied my balance yesterday. And I haven't had time to set a new account up. I meant to set an account up last night to transfer into a Prime account rather than an ECN because I wanted to test execution for the SIH EA on another Prime account. And I got called for dinner last night. I completely forgot to set an account up. So money's sitting in limbo at the minute. So I haven't actually got an account to trade with on here. So I'm just going to do the ORB this morning, but obviously it's pretty much the same thing. So we'll watch the DAX there. But I'm not actively trading it this morning. Morning, Monkey. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, news. So yesterday, obviously, we had mixed news for the US dollar. We've had Aussie this morning. The US dollar yesterday didn't really do a lot. We are retracing the move. So they are coming back, it seems. Well, they are pulling back, it seems, on that initial leg. But we didn't really make much progress yesterday, as you can see. So it's kind of a flag at the moment. So not quite sure yet still what this US dollar's doing. The market kind of went into a little bit of shock mode yesterday and didn't really go anywhere. So I'm still looking for clues as to whether or not this is a legit move and we are going to start to weaken the US, or whether this is a knee-jerk reaction, an overreaction to the CPI figure being a 0.1% out. So I'm not quite sure what to make of the US yet. So it's a little difficult to do any analysis until we know where the US is going. Oh my God, somebody in the Telegram group is telling me that my EA should trade in completely the opposite direction. No, I can't talk you out of it. You don't want to update it. I know this little feature isn't a hassle. It's off. Everybody tells me my product is completely wrong all the time. Well, the people that don't know how to use it, obviously, anyway. Deal with him later. Basically block him. Right. So really undecided as to what's going on with the US dollar at the moment. Can't really figure it out at all. We are pushing back on the yen yesterday. So the yen had a massive weak run again yesterday. As you can see, we had another bull day go in off the back of the US news. So weakness on the yen. Let's have a quick look through the news this morning. Haven't really scanned it yet. Just looking for Japanese news, really. Japan to sell an extra 500 billion yen of debt today. Nothing overnight. So nothing exciting there. If there was anything else out of Fed, no. So Fed, again, haven't said anything yet. So we're kind of in limbo a little at the minute. Not really sure where to go with anything because we're waiting to see what the market's going to make of the US dollar CPI figures. So today we've got unemployment claims this afternoon. Then that's it for the US dollar this week. So that's going to be quite a critical one this afternoon. See what those unemployment claims come out as, because that's going to give us an idea what the unemployment rate will be when that next comes out as well. So I'm just seeing what we got next week, US wise as well. We've got unemployment claims. It's PMI week next week, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. So Aussie dollar this morning, we had positive unemployment change, but unemployment rate unchanged. So this is the important part, the unemployment rate. That's one of the indicators that we use to measure currency strength. Nothing particularly exciting from that result, obviously. So if you look at the Aussie dollar, we've had a bit of a drop against the CAD, a bit of a drop against the Swiss. So the market basically wasn't particularly impressed with it. Hasn't changed, so no news really. So nothing particularly exciting happening there. A little bit of a rally on the DAX ahead of the open. So that's your news basically overnight. Unemployment claims 130 today. That's our only real news today. So we'll see what happens with the unemployment claims and see if they basically rally or dump it. So Mark Smith, morning. Newbie, morning. How are we doing? Newbie? A newbie. First go running the SAH. Oh, Outro's running the SIH. Good luck. You've picked the day that I'm not running it because I need to sort my accounts out. So yeah, so basically we'll have a look at the DAX, obviously, before the market opens. So there's no gaps today. We are exactly where we were pretty much yesterday. Market's having a rally. We had another up day yesterday. I made a loss overall yesterday. DAX I did well on yesterday morning. Not actually very well, actually. I made some progress yesterday morning, but I lost yesterday afternoon on the NASDAQ 3.5%. So I actually ended up 2.5% down on the day. I missed, unfortunately, the EA didn't trigger on the Dow, which went straight to 2R in the first candle. So long on the DAX, blimey. Wow. The big long on the DAX. Wow. Morning DAX. So I was going to say, this is our second up day on the DAX. So I would potentially be looking for a little bit of a correction before we move up. DAX obviously completely disagrees this morning. Sorry. Wow. That went straight up to 2R on the pre-market break. Look. One. Instant 2R target. Look. Straight up to 2R. Out. Done. Wow. This isn't my week, is it, this week? The day I don't run it, it flies. Typical. Exactly the same as the Dow yesterday, isn't it? That's exactly what the Dow did yesterday. Just went, whoop. Thank you very much. I wasn't in it. Not having one of that. I'm having one of those weeks this week where everything's just like slightly going wrong. You just kind of want to reset. Oh, by the way, I'm not here tomorrow. I forgot to say, I'm out tomorrow all day. I'm going to a spa for the weekend. Not spa as in the race course. I'm going to a spa where you pamper yourself. Although I'm not going to pamper myself. I'm just going for a relaxing weekend. So I'm not here tomorrow or Saturday, but I don't trade on Saturday, so it doesn't matter. So you don't need to know about that. But I'm not here tomorrow, so there's no live rooms tomorrow. I will put a post in Telegram. I completely forgot to tell everybody. So yeah, DAX upside. There isn't any upside today, really, that we can look at. We're in this zone. So yesterday, I said we've entered into this break of the highs and break of that low, which is that support resistance area. We were in no man's land yesterday, and there wasn't really any upside target, and it broke up and it flew. Obviously, today we've got the same thing. So your next upside target, we've got a little potential high there that may find some orders, but it's really old. Failing that, this is our next stop, and that is 150 ADR. So there's nothing to stop us upside today. So again, it could be a very similar day to yesterday in the fact that we just basically break and run, which is exactly what we got yesterday, wasn't it? So the DAX yesterday, we just broke and off we went. And then obviously, sorry, that's not yesterday. I was going to say, it looked a lot cleaner than that yesterday. We broke and ran yesterday. So we just broke, ran, and we just carried on going. Yeah, so there is potential again today. There's no upside resistance. Your downside support today is all the way down below ADR. So you've got a couple of different areas where we pulled back into, but obviously that high, which is the previous day's high, and yesterday's low, which is basically where we opened. Those are the main areas you're going to find limit orders at previous day's highs and lows. So we've got nothing really to the downside at all until we get all the way down to ADR. So today is very tricky for the DAX, as in picking levels. You've got nothing until up 150 ADR, and you've really got nothing until you get down to 125 ADR to the downside. So just got to kind of ride it today, go with momentum, which at the moment obviously is huge bullish. So yeah, that's annoying. Never mind. I am on it on the Tiddly account. Pulling back a bit now. Going to stop out at break even on the second half if this pulls back. So your pre-market 15 today, nice, clean, easy break straight up to target. Your 5-minute range is about to go in the next 50 seconds, which is there. That's too big really to take a break off today. I mean, you can obviously take a break of it, but it's 41 pips, which is a quarter of an ADR. So that's a very big opening range candle today, quarter of an ADR. So if you're looking for a 2R target on that, and this is why range is quite important, if you're looking for a 2R target on that range, you're going to need to get all the way to ADR just to get 2R reward, which is obviously not as easy as hitting a much smaller range like the pre-market, which is why we trade the pre-market, because you can hit your 2R target literally at the open, which we've done today. Again, second day running. Second day running, we've had a lovely break straight to 2R, and I wasn't on it. Typical. Anyway. Morning, Sarah. Morning. Did not get an entry, or Danny? No. You may have struggled to get an entry on this. It's very quick today. I got it. But it comes down to your broker at the end of the day. It's down to broker execution, these things, unfortunately. Too much volume at the open, which is why I'm switching from ECN, because I'm getting much better execution on Prime. I'm finding ECN with Robo Forex is quite tricky. It's absolutely fine for normal trading, but for the open, I'm finding the ECN account is struggling a lot more to get order execution done than the Prime account. The Prime account is kind of they call it the ultimate trading conditions. You get faster execution, tighter spreads, blah, 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 and you pay a commission. But so yeah, that's why I'm switching over and see if we can get a better result that way. So, but yeah. I like it. Haha. Outro. I can't remember what it was what I was saying at the time. Only because I got lucky on the first day I've used it. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So nice one. So you got filled. Yeah. Brilliant. Good job. I'm going to sell the DAX at 158.50. Not sure what the relevance of 158.50 is. Is that other support? Resistance, rather. It's an old level, but I'd be more interested in selling it where we are right now, or let it run. But it's a round number. You might get some people interested at half round numbers today. Right. Let's have a look at FX while we're waiting for all that to decide. I mean, the move's pretty much over on the DAX this morning. Well, it's not over, but I mean, the opening range breakout, your ORB pre-market range is done. Your 5-minute ORB is going to be quite tricky. But obviously, momentum this morning is long. So I would only be looking for longs at the moment this morning off the back of that momentum. Not quite sure why that moves so fast and so hard, but it did, which is good. US indices, not really done much. So that was just DAX movement this morning. Japan former yen intervention official says it would be ineffective to prop up the yen. Do they? Well, they better stop doing it then. They keep saying they're not going to do it, and then they do it. I don't know. We'll wait and see. There's no need to prop up the yen when the US dollar's coming down anyway, but we don't know yet, do we? This is the thing. That's what we need to ascertain. We're going to need to give it a couple of days. I was really hoping that this US dollar move would be sorted yesterday or some indication, and it hasn't given it. So obviously, that yen weakness yesterday has made this go back up again. So if we do break out of that high, I think we're going to get some kind of movement on that yen, but we'll wait and see. We need the US dollar to move first. We haven't had any real directional bias. Yesterday's PPI figure, I was really expecting to move the market, and it didn't. So we're going to have to wait for the unemployment claims today and see if we can get some movement off of that. Outro. I watched the video for it yesterday and just thought it made a lot more sense. Also was sick of it running to 2R and then coming back and taking you out of break even. So the SIH seems more logical. It's more logical. The SIH strategy is more logical. Well, it's not more logical. It's more comfortable, I find. There's no real big edge difference in the opening range breakout EA and the stock index hedge EA. They are obviously very, very similar in what they do. They do very different thing in a very different way, but they're trading the same momentum. So it's the same momentum that you're breaking out onto. The whole edge of the opening range breakout strategy, whether you use a stop loss or you use a hedge, is momentum breakout. So I just find it more comfortable to take a single trade and wait than I do to be stopped out. It's just personal preference. Some people are resilient and don't mind getting their head smashed against the wall waiting for that one to come. Some, like myself, I've always struggled with it. So the hedging variation of the strategy is just more comfortable. But there isn't a bigger edge as such in it. It's the same. You're still going to make money out of it in a similar way to you will with the ORB, because it either does or it doesn't. If it doesn't, you're buying yourself time to deal with it. If it does, both of them will make money regardless, won't they? So the does is always the same. Morning funded. Morning Martin. Volume. Martin B. Volume. Testing. Talking about my volume or volume in the market. What do have brokers different quotes on indices? Why do brokers have different quotes on indices? One broker is almost 30 points offset on the DAX. One will be trading the cash and one will be trading futures. There's two different markets that they quote, the futures market and the CFD or cash market, which is why you'll find you've got different prices. It doesn't matter. Price is irrelevant because the movement will be the same regardless of what the price is. You know, if this was quoting 199 instead of 157, that candle will still be there regardless of what that price is. The levels will still be the same. Yeah, support resistance is in the same places. Movement is in the same places. The price is irrelevant, really. You'll get different brokers. All brokers will be slightly out as well because they've got slightly different spreads. You get different candle wick heights. You get slightly different ADRs. Some quote pre-market, some don't, which is the beauty of the ORB strategy is it doesn't matter whether they quote pre-market or they don't quote pre-market, whether they quote you that price or they quote you that price. We're trading this movement for the market and this movement at the market open. That's the same on all brokers. So that bit doesn't matter. Is there any way to add a trend filter to the SIH? Yep, you could basically tell it to go long only or short only. So if you go into there and go to the common tab, you can say long or only short. Quite what would happen, I've no idea because it's not designed to do that. Don't forget, James, if you want to add a trend filter into something that is not trading a trend, it's not going to have much help, is it? Yeah, the whole premise of the opening range breakout strategy is you do not know which way it's going. If you knew which way it's going, you would press the button in that direction. Yeah, the whole edge of this strategy, the reason it makes money is it goes with momentum. The reason I made money today on that account with that strategy is because it broke to the upside. I didn't have a clue which way it was going. If I'd have had a mean reversion mindset this morning, or if we were in a downtrend this morning, I wouldn't have made money on that move. Yeah, it's a momentum breakout strategy. There is no such thing as a trend in a momentum breakout strategy. You're trading a breakout. Breakouts are not trend strategies. Trend strategies are trend strategies. There's no way of adding a filter to it. Bleated good morning. Do you mean belated, John? Bleated is what a sheep does. Damn autocorrect. Bleated good morning. Right, let's have a look at where we are with everything else. DAX is obviously painting inside bar because of the side of that. Inside bar, get it? Talking about sheep this morning. Tough crowd. So yeah, DAX has painted an inside bar, which you'd expect on a move, which is a quarter of an ADR on the initial cash balance. So we are inside bar. Propulsion gap holding at the moment. Upside momentum is working. So hopefully we'll get a break to the upside and get into a trend today if possible. Rallying for the last 8 days. You said 5-day rally is the norm. We are due a pullback. On the DAX, yeah. The 5-day rally kind of theory is quite normal. Look, 4 or 5 days, yeah. It's just market movement basically. It's done on it's weekly cycles. That's all. That theory of the 5-day push is a weekly cycle theory that I think it was Larry Williams came up with it. But obviously there are things that can affect it. If you come to the end of a 5-day cycle and there's a news event, the market's not going to pay any attention to a cycle where it's going to want a profit take. If the news takes it that way, it takes it that way. So we're on day 8 now, aren't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So yeah, we are. This is why I said this morning, we're on the back of a very strong 2-day rally. We're due a pullback. We're due the market to have a bit of a rest. It wants to profit take. It will need to profit take. But it will profit take when it needs to profit take. And if it wants to rally further, it will do what it wants to do. There's very famous sort of saying, in the markets where when someone says the market can't push any further, it will turn around and go, and it will push further. It will do what it needs to do. But yes, we are very extended, and I would say we are at the cusp of needing a profit take move. So if you look at this, the way the way the movement has happened, we've had a 2-day push, pullback, then we've gone up. This move here is what I would expect to get a profit take on. That move there, I was expected to profit take. We actually got a flag break. So we've had multiple flag breaks. So we should at least flag as well. We should have a down day coming. Certainly not looking like it today, is it? But that's the problem with theories. All theories at some point will get proven wrong. Yeah. Nothing you can do about it. It's just one of those things. That was worse than my jokes. It's one of those mornings. It's amazing how far the Swiss yen has pushed up. Yeah. Again, when you think the market can't go any further, it will just turn around and go further. Just does it. Look at this this trend that we've come out of. It's just, the yen is so unbelievably weak at the moment. When the entire world is working on interest rates and you have a negative interest rate, and you've had a negative interest rate for 6 years like the Japanese have, there is no reason you buy the yen. Every other country in the world is offering better conditions for storing money than you are. Yeah. And not just better, miles better. Yeah. So there is absolutely no reason to buy the yen for any commercial purpose. The only reason you will put money in the yen is to keep it safe. And right now is a point where you would look at this and go, why? Yeah. Even the Swiss franc is a better place. So, there's no reason to buy the yen. I'm not surprised it's trending like a mental case at the moment. But the key to it is the US dollar. This is where we get intervention moves from the Bank of Japan. And, as much as they say it's not good to do it, there is a necessity to do it. So we'll find out when that happens, if that happens. I mean, if any of you are short on any yen pair at the moment, the best thing in the world for you is that. Yeah, I know it will be painful for a couple of days, but if that yen can weaken further, or that US dollar can rally and undo the CPI drop, that will help, because you will get that sort of relief in the yen buying, because the yen will suddenly liquidate its assets and rally. So, but this is not a rational market at the moment, as you can see. You can see how irrational it's become in the last couple of weeks. Look, we've gone from this, after the initial shock of the intervention move, we went into contracted what the hell mode, and then we suddenly expanded, and we're in expansion mode at the moment. Expansion mode equals volatility. Volatility equals we're not very happy from the Japanese perspective, equals intervention. So, but the only way that's going to happen is if the US dollar rallies. So we'll have to wait and see. Morning from Pontevedra. We are still under the rain cloud. 1 month of rain. That's not good. I got very, very rained on this morning. Got absolutely soaked. Thank you, Simon, sticking up for me in the Telegram group. One of those days today. Right. Okay, so let's look at ADRs. So there's quite a few ADRs to look at today. These weeklies we looked at yesterday. We went through everything yesterday morning in detail. We went through every pair. So there's a lot of extensions today, obviously, based off the back of the US dollar move. As you can see, the US dollar's had a very bad reaction to the CPI figures. So we've got a few ADRs to look at again today. Aussie dollar, yen come down like a steam train. So is the Aussie dollar, New Zealand. That's gone up. But this move that we've got on the Aussie dollar at the moment basically is to do with the news this morning. So we had the unemployment rate come out as a positive. Of course, the market immediately reacted negatively to it because that's what it does. No, it's an as expected rate. So we got 3.7. We were expecting a 3.7. So negative move on the Aussie yen. However, obviously, this is where I would expect us to come back down and retest. But obviously, we've talked about the yen. At the moment, it's very, very difficult to trade the yen. I'm not trading any yen at all. I'm off the yen completely until I can see where it's going to go. And that is, at the moment, very unknown. I would only look at shorting it. But I'm only really interested in the US dollar yen at the moment because that's the one I think is, going to get the move. So this is obviously extended to the downside. You've missed the move already today. It's already gone. So your 5-minute reversal alert kicked in basically off of ADR. Not a very good one today because of the speed of the movement into ADR. So not a very good reversal on that. Aussie, New Zealand. That one is hit ADR. You would have had a reversal there. So that would have triggered a reversal short there off that wick. Look at that price action. Awful, isn't it? Look at the state of it. So you could take an entry there if you were using the EA. The EA would have got you in there. If you're not using the EA and trading manually, you can get in. Obviously, when we start to pull back from there, Euro odd, that one's hit as well. So again, all Aussie dollar related. Aussie dollar's dropped, so everything's rallied against it. So Euro odd, again, not very clean price action. The market really rallied badly off of that Australian dollar unemployment rate. So bad reversal alert on this. Took hours for it to reverse from ADR, so not a good reversal on that one. You would be in it though if you got the EA. That's 125 ADR, so it basically hit ADR, reacted off of it straight up into 125, but because of the speed of that movement for 15 minutes straight up, you didn't get reversal until all the way back down there. Euro New Zealand, again, similar sort of move, straight up. We haven't had a reversal alert yet on this. Yeah, this is going to be your first reversal alert today on that one, because again, big strong move straight through ADR. I've got out of Euro New Zealand by the looks of things this morning. I haven't even looked at what I've banked today. Haven't had a chance to look at anything today. Negative. Why am I negative? CAD Swiss. Oh, my aggressive drawdown control position on CAD Swiss has stopped out. So I've closed out New Zealand dollar Swiss and Euro New Zealand in profit. But CAD Swiss, my aggressive drawdown control failed. Look at that. Again, I will be looking for an aggressive drawdown control position on that again today. So where were we looking? Euro New Zealand. So I'm out of Euro New Zealand. Obviously, you can flip short on that. So that was a nice in and out, easy entry and exit. ADR, again, potentially looking to come back up and retest this area to see if we are going short. At the moment, we are in the middle of a range. So you are bang in the middle of a range here. Not a great place to take a trade from. But that is extended. Pound odd is also extended to the upside. DAX is hovering around a 2R, around the high of the session at the moment. Struggling to go. I mean, this is the problem. This is why we don't take ranges which are that big, because you'll find the market's done a lot of its movement. It's going to find it very hard to get anywhere today. It'll probably trend very, very slowly if it does manage to. Pound odd, very extended. On ADR, again, your reverse alert's already kicked in on this one. Not sure you would have got a very good entry on that one either. Yeah, all the reverse alerts today off of this Australian dollar move took forever because it was such a strong move off the news. Obviously, the last down candle, the last batch of sellers before the new highs were made were miles away. So these are all really bad entries today on all of these. Pound New Zealand as well. Again, really long reversal there. This is one of the reasons in the market reversal alerts EA I included the reversal alert size. So there's a filter for the size of the block, as in number of candles before it reverses, because these are not good reversal alerts to take. What these are strong pushes and accumulations where we don't break that last batch of opposite orders for ages. Which isn't, a reverse alert should be a push, pull, and either a lower high or a lower low to form an end pattern. So a nice clean end pattern reversal. That's what you're looking for. So it's like a roller coaster. Bang. We're looking for that profit take move. That isn't. That's just, we're not sure where we're going now for 2-3 hours or so. We've just about gone below where we were 4 hours ago. It's not a move, is it? That's just no idea where we're going. So they're not good reverse alerts to take. But if you've got the EA, you can filter those out. I don't personally, but New Zealand dollar yen long, obviously, again, same sort of thing. Yeah, it's taken many hours to get the reverse alert in. So this is just a drop and we're flagging. Problem with these is obviously when the reversals take such a long time, what you're actually forming is a flag, aren't you? Flag breaks are bearish in this case, or continuation patterns. So there's your ADRs. Weeklies, obviously you've got loads of weeklies. We're on Thursday. These have all kind of played out. Euro odds just lit up again, 125. So yeah, there's loads of weeklies. We've looked at those. We've got no monthlies yet. We are obviously after the US move and everything moving around, we're kind of sort of stagnating now. Market doesn't really know what to do next. So we're waiting to see if we get continuations. If we do get continuations off of the moves from CPI, we'll get some monthly hits probably in the next week, which we can look at for potential reversal opportunities. But as I said, we're kind of stuck a little bit at the moment. RSIs, we were lit up like a Christmas tree on Tuesday. All of those have started to play out. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of these moves are in profit. So pound US dollar, for example, that was a way above 80% on RSI on the hourly. We had an 80 on the 40 on the 4 hour. So all these moves, you know, they're all playing out nicely. They're all in profit. Some of them have already been banked. So everything's going kind of in the right direction. Just going to stick a trailer on that. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to bank that. I'm just going to bank pound US. We're in the propulsion gap, basically. So these, like I said, the other day when these moves went in, propulsion gaps of that size are caused by usually large fundamental news events. Yeah. So one of two things will happen to them. They will either immediately, within 24 hours, possibly 48 hours, become an A-shaped recovery, and they will return to origin. Yeah. Or so a V-shaped recovery or an A-shaped recovery. Yeah. Which is basically the market overreacting to the news and then realizing that wasn't the right move to make and then just reverse it back. So they just get out of the position they've entered. Or we do what we did in this case, which is a fade or a fizzle, as they call it, which basically fills the propulsion gap over a period of time because the market is unsure. Or we get a push and continuation move. Yeah. So the propulsion gap is a legitimate change in direction. The market is like, right, we are selling the US dollar now. Come back to it. We are going to add more to our US dollar sales. Yeah. So you get that break out of the propulsion gap. So these are usually one of those three things. Well, they're always one of those three things, but you never know which one it's going to be. So whenever you've got a move this big and you're starting to retest it, this is why my target was in this propulsion gap and not right down here, because that is an easy place to get out. Nice, quick, easy trade, done, 0.25% in the bank. If that happens, fantastic, right decision. If that happens, wrong decision. But I don't know if that's going to happen. It could go like that, and I could be in drawdown on this thing for weeks, couldn't I? So if this is a fundamental shift and it's going to do that, I do not want to be in it. So we've got a lot of these playing out, and this is what I was saying at the beginning of the stream. Unsure at the moment what they're going to do with this US dollar move, because it seems like a very large reaction to a very small deviation. So for me, it looks like we are probably going to do a very similar sort of fade stroke fizzle move and completely fill the gap. But it's up to you whether you want to chance it. Yeah. So it's basically, in this case, for example, it's twice as much profit if it does that. But you've got to hold it for probably another 2 or 3 days, potentially. We could also get this news this afternoon, the unemployment claims. If they come out as a negative number, we will see this absolutely fly. If it comes out as a positive number, we could have that gap filled this afternoon, in which case then you look at an A-shaped recovery over 2 days, the 48-hour A-shape, which again is what happens a lot of the time as well. So if you go back and look through history, when you get these massive propulsion gap moves, I'm just trying to find another one. Probably have to go back a bit further. So there's an example of one have to change the settings. So there's an example of one where we got, a big news event, and then they came back, retested it and dropped, came back, retested it and dropped. So that's an example of where whatever that news was, was the right thing to do. So the market went, right, okay, that news means we want to be selling pound US dollar. So I don't know what the news was. It might have been pound, might have been US related, but whatever it was the right thing to do. So the guys that started the sell move added to the sell move. When they came back, they added more into the sell move. Yeah, made a new sell move, came back, added more into the sell move, continued that pattern, which is exactly where we are right now. Yeah. If they're going to add, this is where they're going to do it. Yeah. This one wasn't the right move. Wasn't the right time. Could be a number of reasons. This move here, they pushed, they came back, they added, made a new low. Market structure became bearish. Then something changed. We had a news event that shifted this sell momentum back into buy momentum. Yeah. So we don't know what this is yet. This is what I was saying. We've got to wait for some clues basically as to where we're going to be going with this one. So yeah, a lot of these moves are playing out. So all these ADR, RSI extensions that we've had this week, most of them have gone now. So the ones that are remaining are the ones that are still rallying. So Swiss yen, 4-hour RSI extension. This is just, up in the clouds. Very rarely we get to these sorts of levels. Let me just change that back. So we've got so much data. So we're nicely extended above the 80 level. It's very rare that we get extended beyond those levels. The 80-20 levels for the 4-hour RSI are usually very high extremes. Every now and again, you'll get one where it will just go into an accumulation and drop. But usually the next attempt at highs will become a profit take move. So this one we've got happening here is either going to be the pullback into the 24.72 area if we're going to continue on the trend, or it's going to be the accumulation. And then the next extension we get, you'll get a nice profit take off, which is how we get out of our positions. So that is still extended to the upside. Still got this weakness in the yen. Swissy and the euro basically holding their ground at the moment. So that one's holding up very well. So that's a 4-hour RSI extension possible entry. You've got the euro yen still extended. That's extended and embedded. Yeah, we haven't pulled back down below the 60 level on RSI now for pretty much 2 weeks. Constant buying, or rather constant selling on the behalf of the yen. So continuous weakness there. And the US dollar Swiss is extended on the 4-hour. I've got a long on that one. Got 2 longs on that one actually at the moment, off the back of the news. Again, that was an RSI extension on the hourly. That was the first entry. Second entry was taken yesterday. We haven't gone anywhere yet. Average is there. Looking to get out on that propulsion move there. Again, just in case this is a continuation. Just want to get out on any kind of pullback. If it's going to be a flag move, I want to be out. If it's going to be a pullback and continuation, I want to be out. If it's a V-shaped recovery, fine, whatever. Holding a V-shaped recovery is literally a gamble, isn't it? All trading's gambling, but I mean, it's a gamble as to whether or not it's going to do that. We'll find out on the news today. The news today could well drive this further down. If that unemployment claims figure comes out high, then we're going down again, aren't we? Should be. The only hourly extension we've got is the pound Swiss. DAX is totally stuck. We're 20 minutes sideways now on the DAX. If you took the pre-market today, you should have taken profit already anyway on either the full position or a partial. We're not going anywhere. Run out of steam. Too much movement. So yeah, pound Swiss is the only other RSI extension, and that is hourly, and it's not quite extended enough. It's just down below that 30 level. Lovely support area though. So this is last week's low. We tapped into it, bounced. We've just pushed through it or tried to push through it. Limit orders have triggered. Again, it's a previous low, which was a double bottom, which has reacted again. We are reacting again. So potentially if we're forming a range with either that high or that high, this is your range low, and we're pushing up into propulsion. So it's a good looking area for a long. It's not quite extended enough. If it breaks down, we've got two highs coming up potentially, which will act as resistance. That one's less impacted because it's already been broken. But that area there may act as a support as well, which is within ADR, which is that propulsion gap. Yeah, so that's why propulsion gaps are good to target, because they are accumulation breaks. They are breaks of previous support or resistance. Previous support or resistance gets reused, which is why propulsion gaps get bounced out of. So yeah, there you go. So that's all the opportunities you've got on the RSIs at the moment. Not an awful lot there at the minute, but quite a few ADRs. But as I say, they're all mostly today Aussie based. So there we go. And your DAX is stuck. Dow is pushing, as is the NASDAQ. Trying to. And NASDAQ's actually a bit of a mess this morning, to be honest. Not really pushing. That's a lie. The Dow is, but the NASDAQ isn't. NASDAQ's trying to push very hard, but sellers are totally stomping on it. It's going now, mainly because the Dow's just broken out the highs, which DAX is reacting to as well. So getting a little bit of a rally there. James, that old saying, the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid. Exactly, yes. That's probably what I was trying to say, the very famous saying that I got completely wrong. All I was trying to say was, doesn't matter what you think, the market will just do what the hell the market wants to do. Doesn't matter how many times you draw a support or resistance line, every time it gets to it, it can, if it wants to, smash straight through it. And it will keep smashing through them until it decides it doesn't want to smash through them anymore. A la our 5-day rally theory with the DAX. Yeah, we're on day 8. There's always an anomaly. There's always an exception. And if this is the start of the US dollar weakness, which we've been expecting and anticipating for quite a few months now, this is going to turn into a rally on the stock indices. And obviously December typically and traditionally, December we have a Santa rally. So we do tend to run into December. Last year was, again, a little bit of an anomaly. But we were in a bear volatile market last year, which we haven't been into for a while. So this was December last year. Yeah, we did not get the Santa rally last year. But typically we do get a rally into Christmas. But then we've never been in a bear volatile market. Well, I've never experienced a bear volatile market running into Christmas before. I've never experienced a bear volatile market like this. I don't think anybody has. This is very, very, very abnormal, obviously. So trying to use any previous data to predict movement this year, not really doable, is it? Because we haven't had a year like this before. We're in a very odd situation. FTSE just hit 2R. Great trade. Good man, Baggy. I still haven't traded the FTSE much. So, have you heard of my favorite YouTube trader? Female as well. Quite so fair play. Her account is Testicle. Aha. Very funny. You're either promoting a YouTube channel, in which case you're banned, or you're saying very bad jokes, in which case you're banned. Anyway, right, that's what I got for you this morning. So DAX is done. Money made. Happy days. I'm just going to move my stop loss on the DAX to 1R. I'm just locking that in here. Because we are struggling to get out of the initial cash balance range today. So I'm just going to get out of it. I've got other things I need to do today, so I don't want to sit here trying to babysit this. So I've put 1R on it, and I'm going to trail that actually. So 27-point trailer, which is basically that range there. Doesn't look like I'm going to get it trailed anyway because it's about to get stopped out, I think. But anyway, so that will be 3R this morning on the DAX, which is good. Morning, Ismet. You're late. I'm just finishing. You've kind of missed it today. 7:50 we start. It's 8:40. Not going to tell you off, but turn up on time. So yeah, so that's all I've got for you today. I'm not here tomorrow, so there's no streams tomorrow. I'll post in Telegram and I'll put out on social media as well, all the channels and stuff. But I'm back on Monday. Yeah, I'm not around tomorrow. Yeah, you'll have to survive without me. I'm sure you'll be okay. Seeing as there's not an awful lot happening. So I might as well cover tomorrow's news, actually, before I disappear. So tomorrow morning, we've got retail sales for the pound. Apart from that, there isn't anything. So building permits don't tend to do anything. Lagarde might say something tomorrow morning, which will rally the euro. But basically, this afternoon is the last real news this week, which is the unemployment claims for the US dollar. And we're really just interested in what's going on with the US dollar, aren't we? So that's the key at the moment is the US. Are we going to go into a bear market for US? If we are, that's really going to help with everything else, basically, because we know that everything else should start to power up a little bit, including the yen. But we've not got any indication yet. So today's really news, I want to see a directional bias form on the US, in which case then the market will probably decide to continue that momentum. But at the moment, yesterday, we were just sitting there in shock mode. So tomorrow's news is just pound related, which means obviously you'll get a move on the pound. Retail sales do tend to move the market. So which is, again, yesterday, retail sales, we didn't really get anything off of it, did we? That's how shocked the market was. So retail sales will move the pound tomorrow. They're forecast to go up. Excuse me. Yeah, other than that, there's not a lot else. So I'll be back to, this afternoon at 2:20 for the US session, as usual. Getting a nice little rally again on the DAX. And then back on Monday morning, 7:50 for the next Frankfurt session. So good luck tomorrow morning if you're trading the opening range breakout or the stock index hedge strategies. Hopefully we get some nice clean breaks, a la today and yesterday. Yesterday was a clean break. Today was a clean break. We're due one, aren't we? So tomorrow might not be a clean break, but we'll see. But certainly got some good momentum today. So that trailer's kicking in now. So we should be trailing from here up. Just locking in whatever it's going to give me off of a 27-point trail. So we'll see where we go with the rest of the day. But hopefully you've banked this morning anyway. So, all right. So anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Telegram back on Monday morning and back this afternoon for the New York session. But other than that, have a good day and hopefully see you this afternoon.